did what God told him to do. There's no problem. And that's what the Benishim said to do. It says the Ferish in the end of Balak. They did Vayichar Hashem b'Yisrael. That Rashi says he made a magefa. Vayem Hashem al Moshe kachas kol rosh yom v'hoikoisem Hashem neged Hashemish v'yoshev chalanaf. And they'll get rid of chalanaf. So that's what he did. So why would I destroy Klal Yisrael? In other words, he did what he's supposed to do. The idea that 24,000 that died with Zimri had nothing to do with Baal Peor. Absolutely nothing. In other words, Baal Peor was Avodah Zarah. He did. There's no chiyuv misa for Mizan with the shiksa. There's a din of kanoim poigim boy, but there's no chiyuv mitzvah in Bezdin. So why are you killing the people for? All of us that they made it to such a point that before they were able to live with them, they said you have to bow down to Baal Peor, and they did it. That was what made the chiyuv misa. But the misa, as far as doing anything, there was no reason to be a chiyuv misa for it. They're just the point of kanoim poigim boy. Point was, what's his name? Zimri was making a revolution over here. Now, what was his revolution? His revolution was Ani Sheni Lebeten and Moshe Shlishi Lebeten. In other words, you find in the longest Medrash Rabbah, which is for the Kabbanis of the Nesiim, that he brought Keneged HaMikdash. And he brought like he's the Kohen. Why is he bringing Keneged HaMikdash? Another thing over there, because he felt he should be the Kohen. The fact that you kicked out the Reuven from having it, I'm next in line. Why are you giving it to Levi for? And stuff like that. But he didn't do anything all the time about it. Yeah, I guess because he wasn't in it. But it says, the Gemara says, Rashi brings it down, that they came to him from the Shevet Levi that they're killing us, you got to do something about it. And therefore, to do something about it, that was the time he brought up his revolution. So when Cosby came, she said, if my father told me only to the Melech or to the Shein Loy, and he says, I'm Shein Lebeten, but who's Shlishi Lebeten? So what did that answer the question? You're still nobody and he's king. So how did you answer the question? All of us, I deserve to be king. I'm really the king, and therefore they call him a pretender in modern times. Like the pretender to the throne. And that's what he was saying, and therefore I'm entitled to this. And this was his Maisa revolution. And we find that when the Rebbeinu step in to destroy Klal Yisrael, is by revolutions. You have it by the Egel, by Raglim, twice by Kerach, 4 times, and this would have been a 5th time that the Rebbeinu would have destroyed the Klal Yisrael. And since he kills the leader of these things, so bubble the revolution, so he saves Klal Yisrael from being killed. And for that, he got the Guni Gedayla. That is basically what has happened. Okay. Now, once he gets to be Kohen Gadol, the Rebbeinu then first to kill the Midyanim. Why the Midyanim and not the Moavim? Because we still have what's the name to get from there, Rus and Moavia. So therefore, we're saving against Moav because of her. Okay. What he called, he said, I want the people counted. Okay. Now, obviously, we lost a quarter of Klal Yisrael at that time. Between 176 and 24, you get the round number of 200,000. The Benjamin seems to kill round numbers. So 200,000 Yidden, that's 1/4 of Klal Yisrael. 600,000 and 800,000, and afterward they have only 600,000 and one. They have less people than when Adam is right. Okay. And now he's just told you about the Shvatim themselves, and here they put it down. But here we get the numbers that didn't exist there is going to exist here. So first of all, he goes through Reuven, and it's interesting. It says, Eila mishpachis Reuven, Rebekidem, Shlish, V'avu Amel, Shvamesh, Shlish. 43,730. That's their number. Then all of a sudden he starts a whole history. Bnei Palu Eliyav, Bnei Eliyav Nomen Hudasim Vaviram, Kriyei Ho'eda, and so on. So first of all, you have Kriyei spelled Kriyei, red Kriyei, as opposed to the Nisim in Parshas Bamidbar, were red Kriyei spelled Kriyei. And that's because the elders show which is the bigger title, I can't answer you. Okay, but obviously Dosan Vaviram are not plain people. Okay, we understand they're not plain people because with the Sheikh of Bnei Israel, that was they started up with Moshe Rabbeinu, when the things were their interest was in Klal Yisrael. They loved Klal Yisrael, and Moshe Rabbeinu was making problems for Klal Yisrael. That's the main thing. Moshe Rabbeinu comes to take him out of Mitzrayim. What they do, they take away the straw, they take away the things. They made things harder for the Yidden. Okay, and that's what Moshe Rabbeinu went back to Hashem and complained at that time in the Shmos for that thing. Okay, then whenever there was problems, there was no food. He came to Moshe. What's going on? Who has a leader in Klal Yisrael that doesn't have a supply line? Who doesn't know where the food's coming from? So he explained it. He always explained it to them, and they always went Kabul until Kairach. And Kairach already, like Kairach is against Moshe, then we're right. Okay, so then what do you want Makabel? But the other end was the answer was always the Rebbeinu wants to show you we're going out of Mitzrayim without any left, and went out without food, without anything, and you trusted in me. That's why you got saved. That's what I wanted to show you I can do it. Nothing for you to do it. You didn't want it, and that's what you did. Okay. So, and then the thing, and then there's the Ikir is Bnei Korach Mason. And that's why I think the family is called Mishpachas HaKochi, even though he's a Russia, is I think that we're going to call that Yosef, or the three sons of Korach. When you tell them you can do it, but three Mishpachas, they're not making it. So they're only one Mishpacha, so they all come from the same place, so they go Mishpachas HaKochi. So that's the only thing there. Okay, that's them. Okay, why is after the counting? They lost everything. They were knocked out of Klal Yisrael. They got chorus, they got what do you call it? Not all their children were killed, there's no one left from them, and therefore that was the thing there. So they are out of Klal Yisrael, as opposed to Yehuda, which he has Er ve'nei Yehuda, Er ve'oinon. Yamas Er ve'oinon, Be'eretz Canaan. So what are you mentioning them for? Who cares? Right? No, I mentioned them because they're still part of Klal Yisrael. If they would have been alive, or they would have had children, there would be mishpachas coming from them. So I'm mentioning it to them. From Dosan Vaviram, there isn't anybody coming from them, so it doesn't make a difference. They're out of Klal Yisrael. Okay, so I think that's one thing. Then it tells you Bnei Shimon. Bnei Shimon, it tells you the kids. And it tells you Hashauli. I'll tell you that in a minute, though. And he ends off, Eila Mishpachos Hashemayni Shnayim V'esem Elef Masayim. Doesn't say Livkudeihem. The other ones, Vayu Pikudeihem, Livkudeihem. They're counting. This one says no counting. It says the numbers were 22,200. Why didn't it just tell you the counting? Because they don't fit the job that they're supposed to do in Klal Yisrael. Then before they were 58,000 and plus, so that they were enough. They're the Malamdi Tanaikis of Klal Yisrael. They were not because they're the people, they filled their job in Klal Yisrael. But now they don't fulfill it, and that's why over there in Cairo and back in the Bamidbar, it says over there Pikudov by Shimon the Dafki. Because they tell you that the numbers that fit in the Shevet is for their job as far as Klal Yisrael goes. Now they're not making it, so therefore they didn't put it. Now, one of the sons he had is called Shol ben HaKananis, and the shaila is, who is this guy, Shol ben HaKananis? So Gemara says Zimri is Zimri because he did whatever his revolution. Shol ben HaKananis is called because he lent himself to an Avera, and what's his real name? Shlomiel ben Tzurishada. So basically, he is the Nasi we're talking about. So the Mishpacha is again named after a Rosh. Why is the Mishpacha named after Shaul? The idea is, I think, is that to tell them that you have a tendency in you. What's the tendency? Your tendency is to stick up for Klal Yisrael, even to the point of making a revolution against God's Ratzah. And that's a point that you have to get out of your system. So remember where you come from. You come from Shaul that lent himself to an Avera. That's why you call Shaul, and Mishpachas HaShauli. And the thing over there, so don't do that again. But you guys are good guys. Your attention is to for Klal Yisrael. It's a wonderful idea. But it's got to be Glatazah. And that's what he is. And this he goes through. Then he goes through all the way until Bnei Yosef. The Mishpachosam, Menashe Ephraim. It's supposed to be Ephraim Menashe. Menashe and Ephraim. Because not always is Menashe behind Ephraim. It depends if Ephraim does job, then he goes first. But if he doesn't, then it goes in the order normally. And it's counted say here, and because the numbers are way up, while Ephraim is down, and it's also going to be when they count the Nesim, they're going to count them as when Yosef is Menashe, not Ephraim. Okay. And this is the thing there. Now, and in them, in the counting the Bnei Menashe, he counts the Bnei Slavchot. And it seems that the whole idea of this mishpach is because he didn't have children. You know, one Bnei Yoy ben Menashe, he was killed without children. So therefore, the Nofach ben Menashe also killed without children, or died without children. The only one that had any children was Mochel. Bnei Menashe leMochel mishpachas Mochili. Doesn't have any more children, no more mishpachas, nothing. Mochel Haylid is Gilad, the Gilad mishpachas Giladi. So we went over to the next one. Eile bnei Gilad. Now he's the one that got mishpachas Gilad. Mishpachas Yezri, Chelki, Yeli, right? Shechem, Shichmis, Mishmidah. And Chayfa, and the Chafri. Those are the mishpachas of Slavchot, of Gilad. And Slavchot and Chayfa didn't have any sons. You only had daughters. Ve'ela b'nei Yisrael. One Shemitah daughters. They gave it anything, right? The beginning is to know their chshivus, that they would have been around. They would have been mishpachas. They would have been what if they were boys. There happens to be the girls. There's nothing but the godless. The Torah is out to spell you the godless of the nice Slavchot. And so 3 times in the Torah you're going to find it here that they count them into like and keep saying and there's their names. Who cares about their names, right? That's the want you to know their names. The Rebbeinu wants you to know their names because of who they were. Okay, this goes to the end, and then you have Klal Yisrael 601,000 and 730. Okay, this is who you divide the land between. Why? Because this is second counting. Because originally the first counting is who had. So you have the first counting of the gates in Mitzrayim together with the Bayoretz. That's how it's going to come out here. That's why you have this connection between the two of them. That you have that the land, that the actual ones who came into the Eretz are the ones who are getting the land according to the division of the Yetzi Mitzrayim. Therefore, and then whatever the cheshbon is, and that's how they get it. That's why you have to have the second counting. And
recording in progress.
Then he counts the Levium, and he tells you that the mishpachos of them anyway, and they didn't die, from the what they call They don't tell you how many, they tell you, somehow they didn't grow too much either, even though nobody died by it. So exactly what shot, I don't know, but obviously there was people that were killed because you have less mishpachas that were mentioned originally. So it happened to be when they went back, there was at one point the Klal Yisrael returned away, went back, and the Levi went back to fight with them, and at that battle they lost the mishpachas of the Levi and 8 mishpachas, I think, in Klal Yisrael. Rashi brings it down, all the facts down of what happened, and that's why it could be the numbers never grew and stuff. They wiped out that game. Okay. Then come along the Menei Slavchad to make their complaint, and the whole Indian is, I think the Torah is trying to show you, Rashi mentions it also here and before, that Yosef loved the land, and therefore his daughters loved the land. It's only Bnei Menashe. You don't find anybody in Efraim about loving the land. I can't answer you why. I don't know. Could be it's just Lavdafke and just happened. The story happens to be about Bnei Menashe, so therefore that's why it's about Menashe. I have a theory in the sense that the reason why Menashe was an Oyev Haaretz more than Ephraim, if he was, because at the time when Yaakov Avinu blessed Ephraim before Menashe, Simcha Kim Ki Ephraim v'chem Menashe v'Yisrael v'Yisam is Ephraim v'chem Menashe. That was the thing over there to show there's potential, whatever it is there. I guess Yosef had to do a job with being Mephias. It was his own fault that it was that Menashe even knew about this. If he wouldn't have Mishtarai, what would have been? So Yaakov Avinu blessed him holding his hands like this. Would you know if on your head, which is the pinky, which is the thumb? I don't think so. So as far as the kids would have known, it was maybe you grabbed them like this. I mean, he wouldn't know. There's anything over there. But because he wanted to take his hand off, he started to scream to his father, and he told him, I know, but he's still going to be bigger. So then, what do you think? Menashe is deaf? He also heard everything was going on. Right? So that's a bracha now. Right? So Yosef probably had to take one aside and say, don't feel bad. You know, they sold me, they kicked me out of the thing, but that's in the end, I'm the one that has to support them. Because they're the Ikea, they're Klal Yisrael, that's the most important part. El Tisol, Klal Yisrael, and that's the point there. That's your job also. The support for the rest of us for the thing. And that's why so it was Menashe that had this thing. Ephraim had his bracha. He didn't need any support. So therefore, it came out like this. Okay. Okay. Then he tells him he's going to die because of the Mariva. And, okay. And Meishamein makes a plea that he wants his kids to be the rulers. Now, I don't know, the Meisham turns him down. Says, the one's going to get is Yeshua. Moshe Rabbeinu does not hedge. He takes Yeshua, and he said, you'll put your hand over his hand. He puts both hands on his head. In other words, to show he's doing the Seforim Yofis, I'm a Kabbalah tells Hashem, whatever it is there. How does his kids feel about it? I really don't know. I assume they're not very old. Well, but this time they're already 40 years old. I mean, they were born just before Moshe went down to Mitzrayim. So he's one is 43 and one is 41 or something like that. So, or more. I have no idea. So those are they could be the leaders. Like, why aren't you the leaders? And stuff like this, because they were not in Mitzrayim. they never became Talmidim of Moshe Rabbeinu. They did when they joined the Midbar, but Yeshua was already there. He was in this place. You know, if you have a Talmud that's running the show, even the kids don't get in. It's not so pashut, right? So therefore, the thing there to them, when he listened to Aaron not to take them down to Mitzrayim, I don't know if it was a good desach. But you don't find Chazal criticizing it. That's the funny part. You don't find Chazal before. There should be the biggest criticism. Why did you leave him up there? They should have seen the Nisam Hashem. They should have seen what everybody else saw. And Hashem, and Hashem B'Kel Haaretz, and Kamayim B'Chol Haaretz. All the things that Klal Yisrael built up their money with. Why didn't they see it? They weren't able to see it. And they didn't even see they hold it that Yisrael came after Matan Torah. They didn't even see Matan Torah. They didn't see Kriyas Yamsuf. They didn't see the Makis. They didn't see nothing. You kept away from them so much ruchlius. Was that right or wrong? I don't know. But I don't know if I would be a kid, I'd be really upset about it. I don't know. The thing over there. But you found that Moshe did listen to him, and he didn't take him down. And could be that's the reason they went out to Talmidim. If they would have been down, they would have been there the whole time around Moshe, where they're keeping them near him, and whatever it is, because for ganz halachas, when the Gadol gives a shiur and he faces the people, if the kids cannot understand, so they sit next to the Gadol and they face the people. If the kids can understand, they sit in the first row facing the father. So in other words, his kids do get something special by being the kids of the Gadol. So they would have been that way. This way they didn't get anything. So I don't know. I'm not giving you a thing that just making aware of what happened, but I don't know what's right. Obviously, it didn't happen. And Moshe Rabbeinu is worried about having the leader on Klal Yisrael. Obviously, he felt his children are royal. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked for his children. He said, Yifkid Hashem, you should make somebody that's going to go before them and after them who really care about Klal Yisrael, don't care about himself, right? And he wants his sons to be there. So obviously, he feels his sons are able to do it. So when he told them that, no, Yeshua is going to be, okay. But Rashi says a funny thing over here. I don't remember the other Rashi is. And what does he say over here? He says, and so now as you want your mishpacha involved in the thing, they'll always be involved because Yeshua is going to need a loza. Rashi brings down as a Rashi that says, you don't find anywhere that Yeshua needed a loza. You never asked him anything if you don't bitumen, because he was a Navi himself. Need anything there? Why did God do that? Because of the chet that the loza did later on in Parshas Matis, that he when they killed him, he said, "Eile, what he called." But Moshe, he never asked Moshe Rishus to say it. And that's called Meira Halacha B'fnei Rabbi. I said, I've seen this happen once in my life, and the guy got killed. So I can tell you. I can't tell you if that was the reason, not the reason. I'll tell you the story without mentioning names and places. But the ones who were there, it's a nice of about 70 years ago, probably longer, than more than 70 years ago. 75 years, 73 years ago. Probably. So I'm saying that. But anyway, the Rosh Yeshiva says the Amen, right? And everybody's waiting for the Rosh Yeshiva to say the Amen. And he's not saying anything. All of a sudden, you hear a voice of a bacha, an elder bacha, and he started saying the Amen, right? And everyone asked what happened over there, and they said, "Oh, the Rosh Yeshiva probably forgot, and therefore he had to do it," and so on like that. Now he saved the embarrassment. The question is, why didn't the Rosh Yeshiva figure this out before? I don't have answers for these things because I was a kid, so I was just asking the questions. I don't know anything, but wasn't there. In later years, this Bachur grew up to be what do you call it? A menal in a big Chashva school, and he got a flat tire on a turnpike, and he's fixing the tire, and he got killed. Was it because of this or not? I can't answer you. But I saw this mice, and I saw another mice in Lakewood. I'm not going into that one. But that's Meir Aloch and Rabbi, which is exactly what he did. He went and he said, "This is the Torah that God told Moshe." So what's wrong with it? You did what you're supposed to do, but you didn't ask Rishus if I can do it. You should have said, "Moshe, do you mind if I answer?" That's what you should have asked. You didn't ask that. You just went and jumped in. It's like, there's a hole, and then Moshe doesn't say anything. So he jumped in and said it. And for that, he never had to ask him. That's the thing. So I'm just saying, so I saw something like that. Then the Rebbeinu Shalom tells him, you're talking about my kids. You're telling me to take care of my kids. Now it's your job to tell your kid, my kids, in other words, that they have to take care of me. And that's the kabbanis of what do you call it, of the Musafir. And everything is, this is the kabbanis, the social kabbanis that we live by and why they are. So let's start with the first one. First one is the Korban Tamid. Korban Tamid is two wayless. You bring them one in the morning, one at night, because there's a dedication, Machmas HaTzibur, not Machmas HaYochid here. Machmas HaTzibur, that's what the oil is, that everything that everyone possesses is Min HaShemayim. You only got what belongs to you. That's it. And you believe it, fine. Now, we all claim to believe it, and that's very nice. We say that this is what we believe. Oh, but there's one problem. Do we? What happens by us, I say everything, and then so we have a tzorah. All of a sudden, you start worrying. What are you worrying about? You just said that everything belongs to God, and He's doing everything for you. So why are you getting worried about? Oh, you think He doesn't like you? I mean, what do you worry about? Do tshuva. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, why are you worried? Okay. All of us, it's very easy to make a commitment in my mind and not necessarily realize if I need it or I don't need it. By a korban itself, you can't make that error. This is the dedication of an oila. I explained that in Vayikra, the book, how it also is machaper for Esses that they didn't do. But when you shech the behema, why are there so many different kinds of idols? You have a bull, right? An ox, whatever you want to call them, right? You have a ram, right? You have a goat, you have a bird. Then you got a mincha if you want. Different levels, different costs. Different costs. Why the guy make different costs for kavanas? All the other kavanas are specific. This is what you have to bring. This is what you have to bring. And here, you give me a feature because the Vayishim wants you to bring a korban that you feel a loss in. In other words, if I'm a rich man, I'll bring a bird. It's not going to make me feel like I had a loss. Right? They used to pick a picture of a mafia boss. Was that they would light their cigars with a $5 bill. Okay, so now so $5 even those years didn't mean anything. Supposedly now it's supposed to be a little belly shoulder with $100 bill. Okay, but the idea is that that's how rich I am. It doesn't make a difference. I need to smoke something. I light my cigarette with that. Okay, so that's the point. So if that's my feeling about the $5 bill, about a $5 carbon, I'm not going to feel any loss with it. I want you to make a carbon of something that you feel a loss in. In other words, if you're a very, very rich man, I'm saying even if you're a billionaire, $10,000 is still money. So I want you to bring a carbon that's worth $10,000. Now, what kind of carbon could be worth $10,000? My prize bull that impregnates all of my cows and so by that one, that's worth $10,000. And I want you to bring that one for Noila. And you bring for Noila by saying, if you want me to have it, they'll give me another one. That the Benishim has everything, so no big deal, right? So if he doesn't flinch, as they shecht it, then he got it. He was mekayim what it is. He actually felt it. That everything's going to shemayim, and this is a mitzvah in your korban HaKadosh Baruch Hu, recognizing this fact, and it's good. But what happens when the Kohen is shechting it, and all of a sudden he says, "Oh, there goes $10,000." He's just flunked. Right? He didn't believe what he said. So what does he do? Is the korban possible? No, the korban is not possible. Because the bench made it tonight, that the fire came down first. Everything's in Yisherech Hashem. All the korbanos are going to be accepted. But I want you to try again. You flunked this one. Try again next time. The next one you'll make it, whatever it is. And that's what the bench wants us to do constantly. Is always to try and get the next one. You're having a Gemara that's interesting. That says that the Malachim is the Rebbeinu Shalom. It says in Pinchos and Yisa Hashem Panav Elecha. God shows favoritism to you, right? He said, "How could you say such a pasuk?" He said, "Hashem lo Yisa Panav." God doesn't show favoritism to anybody. He says, "How can I not show favoritism to the Jews? I demanded from them that they should eat v'chalta. That's when they should bench. They eat a kazayis or kebeya, and they're already benching. So it's a brachal batala. So what's your problem? I mean, what makes it a mila? It's a brachal batala, right? I wasn't a chayvi for such a thing. That's this is not talking about the Rabbanan. We're talking about the Raisa here. The Rabbanan made the way you have to wait for Kitzayis Kebeya. So what was their mind of making a porch about Torah? What was their point? This is the point. The word the Yidden, the Rishon says, before there's the Rabbanan, I was mitzavedesh v'chaltos v'ite v'rachta. And they, and eat even a little bit, they feel grateful to me. And if you feel grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then is you must express yourself and be thankful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you don't feel grateful to thing, I don't expect you to be grateful until you eat with Savaita. But if you feel grateful with the Kazayas, you behave to bench. And so Klal Yisrael, so the Rabbanan said, if Klal Yisrael could reach such madrega, there are individuals that reach such madrega, we're going to make a takana that everybody has to bench by Kazayas and bench. And maybe through that, they will get to understand and appreciate even Kazayas and Abeya, and therefore they're thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu even that little bit. And that's the point of the thing. So there's a point that bench wants you to try again. If you didn't make it the first time, try again. There's nothing there. Okay. Okay. So that's the two. So I want you to feel this feeling when you go out to work. And even if unsuccessful or you are successful and come home at night, you get another one. But you are to realize the same thing, everything is not Kodesh Baruch Hu. It was a bad day, and that's exactly what's supposed to happen. And the thing goes for there. It's a bad day. Okay, then Shabbos, you have two crosses, two oilers again. You have no other korbanos except the two oilers, extra besides the four, because there is already before Shabbos. You don't have Shabbos doesn't prepare for you, but Shabbos prepares, make sure that you have. In other words, whatever you prepare for Shabbos, that you get back. So therefore, if you meet, I can understand that. So you get a Reuven Shabbos. Again, the same thing, and additional stuff like that. Then comes Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh, you have already other korbanos. And Rashi brings down an interesting thing. I can't see it. But it says, I think, when it says Purim, when Bnei Boker Shnayim, Keneged Avram Avinu. Ayel is Keneged Yitzchak. Vosim Keneged Yaakov. Those are the things Rashi should mention. Now, the Rashi Tatel asks the question. It says, they bring you two Purim. Either they should bring one or three. If we go according to the Medrash, this that Avram did was three Purim. If you go off the basic types of the Pasuk, it was only one Purim. Why do you have to? And he answers what he answers. I don't remember what he answers. I'm sure, I think it's in the Sefer. So you can, in the Dorsh Moshe. I have a different answer. Oh, I think it's a different answer. That Avram Avinu is known as the father of the of Chesed, not known of Stoker. He's the of Chesed. What kind of Chesed did he do? He gave the guy a meal. That's Stoker. They need a meal. We need a meal. So it's Stoker. Why you call it Chesed? So the idea is to the Greshin, Avram Avinu, two things he did. He gave he brought them one part is to say, this is stocker. You need a meal, here's a meal. And the second one is how he gave it. I made it for you. So you have to question what kind of a guy is about Chesed is Avram Avinu. He's supposedly the Medrash is it was so hot that day. Why did the Beis make it so hot? So he was looking around for Orchim and couldn't find Orchim. So here he is, a man who's bedridden, running around all over the place looking for people, and there's nobody there, right? So you want to die, you're dying to do chesed, right? And when you finally find three people, because the benchman has Achmanis on you, you have nothing in your house. You went to Sarah, you say, Sarah, make some bread. Right? Okay, and then what do? You want to tell the oxen. What do you want to oxen for? What are you going to do with them? I'm hungry now. You know, you think you're Marshall. If he would have told me what the mention that he did was he shechted it, I figure it takes a minute, pulls out the tongue, takes another minute, takes a knife and chops off the tongue, and then puts it on the roast, then I would hear why he gave them the tongue. Okay, it's the fastest things I can get you, right? But if you're talking about the reason it says he gave him the tongue, and that's why he needed three of them, because he wanted to give him the best of the same together with mustard and guns of business that he's doing, how he's cooking it, and the thing over there, if that's the case, the food's not going to be ready till 7 or 8 hours from now. Why? I got to skin the animal. Thank God, if you know how to skin it, doesn't take that long, but you have to treber it. He was Mekayim all the mitzvahs, the Rabbanan even, right? You got to have the chaylev, you got to butcher it, you got to rake it, you got to salt it, right? Maybe the guy doesn't want a tongue, maybe he wants a rib steak. How do you know what he wants? That's a video you forced to eat tongue. I mean, I don't like tongue. When I used to little kids, sometimes they'll tell you the tongue. I don't like tongue, because all they imagine is the tongue, cow's tongue going out licking the dirt. So they don't want to eat a tongue, right? Stuff like that, right? So, so you eliminate them. So they're not going to be ready till supper time. So what did you run? I'll give you two scenarios. One scenario is let's say, we had this on the east side. A guy brings his wife to the baptism, and he just closed it up, and for a baby, right? Now, of course, they used to have a kosher hospital, so there's like kosher food there. So the guy would then walk down to the yeshiva, which is about a mile away, and say, I need a meal. When you be there, and they'll tell him, if you go to Yankel, you get a good meal over there. Okay, so he goes over to Yankel. Yankel, you mind if I come for lunch? No problem. I'm in there. Comes into the lunch over there. They show they have a couple of different types of appetizers. Then they have the fish, 5 types of fish there. They had the filter fish, carp, and pike, and what do you call it, the whitefish and salmon, right? And all and the thing goes in there, and your filter fish mentioned up here, and maybe breaded fish, sold it. You have the 5 different kinds of fish with salads over there. Then they brought out the different cholents that they had. They whether you're yaki or you're this kind of different kind of cholents, kuglen. Without the kind, the different hearts don't even count. 30 types of pies and everything there. That's case 1. Second guy is the guy who sees his friend. He's gets up one Sunday morning. I'm picking Sunday for a reason. He gets up like one Sunday morning, he goes to shul, and he sees his friend, his chavrus from 25 years ago, who moved to El Israel. Right? And he hasn't seen him in 25 years. And he says, what are you doing for breakfast? We got to fabring, I got to see if you. Oh, I'm going to the pizza store. I've got a coffee in a Danish. He says, no, you got to come to my house. You can't do it. Comes up to his house, wakes up his wife. He says, wife, my friend here from 25 years ago, you got to get up. You got to make something special, some yalakis or something other thing like that. Okay, then he wakes up the kids at an off Shabbos. It's going to be 8:30 minutes. So he wakes up the kid and he tells him, you go down. You went after davening, you run into the appetizing store, you buy every type of fish, you can buy every type of bagel, every type of bread, and bring it up there. That's your job. Meanwhile, this guy only wanted, and meanwhile, he knows a little bit how to cook from yeshiva, so he knows how to make eggs and stuff like that. So he's doing that, and he's giving it to the. And when he finishes breakfast, this poor guy wanted was a Danish and coffee. When he's lasting eating like a horse, and the thing over there, he says to him, I know whatever we gave you was only a chaplap. We didn't really prepare for you. We didn't do it mechabit you. It just happened to be that I got this, my wife did this, and that. So we're trying to do as much as we can. Come for lunch or come for supper, and my wife will give you her whatever it is she makes, a roast that you're going to do, you're going to have something there that then you'll feel how we will mechabit you. Okay. That's the 2 guys come home today for me because they didn't do anything for him. They were eating it normally. He just happened to be there to partake of it. So the house eats good. It has nothing to do with him. But the fact if I would give something that I have prepared in my house, the house eats good. That's not a grace achnos. That's stuck. About the point that saying that they made it for me. The thing that you're worthy, that I'm going to make you this thing. You're the bread. We have nothing here, but for you, I'm going to make it. That's the chab. So those are the 2 we make for Avram Avinu. So we got that, and the what do you call the ayil is for the Akedah. That's 1. Also, there's 1 on Sukkot. We have 2. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's 1. And he goes right there here, and right, and then the soya, which not everybody has, even though on Shavuos, this is something I just saw from something that we could do for Shiva stuff of it says of Yemek Yikurim. It doesn't say is the lotion of Rison and so User Izim Echad Lechaper Aleichem. I want to read you a different pasuk, right? Movad Usir Chatos Echad Lechaper Aleichem. It's missing the word Chatos. Now, why is it missing the word Chatos for us? It's the only one that's missing Chatos. They talk about it. He was answering, he says there's two different types of why there's no Averos. The first, by Shavuos, they became Yidden. That's when it says they became Gerim. They went to the mikveh, they were everything there, and they made the milas. It was before Shavuos, before Matan Torah. So before Matan Torah, that's the thing over there. So your reason that you're mechuper is not because I'm forgiving you. You didn't do anything. You were goyim. But now that you're becoming Yidden with it, so it's the mechaper for you that you have a korban now that's going to be for you, special. The other ones are made taka for the averos we did. You're going to forgive us. So therefore, that's what he has that one. Okay. The three, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Shmini Atzeres has only one part. Why does it only have one part? So I want to tell you that we just said two poems what you need for that. They're saying you're coming to Yom Adin. Yom Adin is a different parsha now, Yom Adin. Yom Adin is, we're judging you now. You stuck it. You did nice things. You gave out things, right? But you really didn't do it l'shem shemayim. You gave the $1 million to the yeshiva. It was wonderful, but you built a building and you put your name on top of it. You go around to all the places and you brag, you know what I did for that yeshiva over there, and the thing like that. So you didn't do about it. So what are you taking credit for? I'm not giving you credit. So it says, look at it this way. There's two parts. Forget the chesed part. But the Oni got the food. The yeshiva got the $1 million they needed. That's all. You need a schar for that. And I want to tell you that is really the pshat. In the Gemara is over there. They gave a bracha. They used this to the yeshiva when I was a kid. That that you have stories of Kol Satayv. I mean, of that down the Kavschus. And they gave the bracha always to the one who was down the Kavschus, just like you would down me the Kavschus, the Bnei Shalom should be down you the Kavschus. That's the bracha. Yes, that time it's impossible. I'm down in the Kavschus. Why? Because I don't know the truth. So if I don't know the truth, I can be down in the Kavschus. Oh, but the Bnei Shalom knows the truth. How's he going to be down in the Kavschus? So the Shiva told me God could do it. Now, maybe I should have asked questions more at that time or not, but I didn't ask. Okay, I have my own talent. My own talent was a simple one, was that Pshat is everybody that's done the Kavschus is Aver Amarasai. Because if I see you walking into a Treifa restaurant, immediately you say, he went into a Treifa restaurant, they say he probably has to go to the bathroom. Right? So therefore, if I had to go to the bathroom, I'm going to a treifa restaurant also. And now people think that I went into a treifa restaurant. So I'm over that. So the Bnei Shalom was going to be down me the Kavschus that he knows I didn't go into a treifa. He won't punish me for the Malasai. That was my pshat for all the years. Till one year, I don't know what was it. That was a Selsomei Tshuva. Was it a Tainus? I can't remember. And Selsomei Tshuva sounds better. And it says, Zochreinu, not Zochreinu, what it calls Sveinu b'Sefer Zchuyos. All of a sudden, and I don't know how old I am already, but much older than I should. What are you talking about? What does this mean? Doesn't it make any sense? The Bnei Shalom could write me the Sefer of Chaim Tevin. He can write me in Kapol, the Slichva Kapol, to write in Panos of the Chalkola, whether I deserve it or not. I'm asking to be written in there. About write me in the book of Shuyas, I didn't do any mitzvahs. How can you write me in the book? So I said, this is pshat. I did mitzvahs, but in the mitzvah, there are many reasons why I did it. Right? One of them was, I want to get the tzedakah. But there's also, I'm going to get covered from it, I'm going to get this, whatever it is there. The Bnei Shalom just write me in that I did a mitzvah, give tzedakah. That's what I'm asking you to do. Okay. So that, they said, that's the case. So then the Bnei Shalom Taka does that. We're asking him to always do that whenever we do, because he also knew that the guy who he saw doing something wrong could have been going in to eat. I mean, he didn't know he's going to the bathroom. He's only but of all the reasons that he could have been going in, I picked this one. And therefore, mention from all the reasons that I'm doing, you pick this one. That's the part that counts. And therefore, that's the point of that. Shnei Elam is why Dafke Sukkis Bedafke. I don't know. Normally, it's because of, I said, Akedas Yitzchak, that we understand. Okay. Now, there's a problem. Is also an Akedas Avram that we don't discuss. Right? Yitzchak was supposed to give up his life. It's very nice. But Abraham was asked to do something almost as big. He was asked to make himself into a liar and to make the whole religion that he's been preaching and everything is into sheker. What's he doing? I'm sure that one of the things he preached against was human sacrifice. And here you bring the human sacrifice. How are you doing it? The Rebbeinu Shem gave the Nisayon to Avram that I want you to see if you follow me in doing something that's going to make you a liar. Or you're going to ask me questions. But God, you told me to do the other things. How am I going to do it? Or you do without question because you said you're an Odai. You said you follow orders without any questions. Let's see. So I have in the book, the difference is like the first 5 Nisyonis were the basic ones, and the second 5 were against the religion itself, against the Messiah, against the things there, to see how far Avram is going to go. And the thing there. So there's an Akedah for Avram too. Where's his? So on the regular Yontif, the Ikar is what the Akedah Yitzchak, the Misilas Nefesh we did with there. But Sukkis has a term going out among the Goyim. We're not doing that you're bringing korbanos for the Goyim, we're also going to live among the Goyim. That's Golas, whatever it is there. The Machshavas are coming into us, and whatever it is there. The main is we have to hold on stark. We have to remember the Akedas of Avram too. Because in other words, we're coming and we don't compromise on our values and stuff like that. Same thing is the 7 Kvosim. It goes, I would say, connected the 7 menorahs in the menorah, right? What are the 7 chachmas? The Torah is in the middle. The 6 other chachmas, whatever they are, go 3 on each side towards it, right? That's in a way making panosa from different chachmas, right? I can be a mathematician, a physicist, a doctor, doesn't make a difference. I can make a panosa, make it from Torah too, okay? But with that, they were all subject to the Torah. In Chutzlo, we had said those are the Shevna sheep. This is because that's like you make a panos. Talking about he's a shepherd to make a panos. In Chutzlo, we're going to do things that we can't do in Eretz Yisrael. We're going to become bankers. We're going to become labor believers. We're going to do things that we can't do in Eretz Yisrael. And because of that, we become guys who collect taxes. We're going to become all the things that are brought down with the Mutter for Shabbos and this thing and how to do it and everything else there. That's what we're going to do in Golos. Why we can do in goals? Because they're not going to let us own land, they're not going to let us do anything. We're going to have to find different ways of how to make a parnasa. But we all dedicate all of that to the Torah. So that's, again, that's goals. And the Sukkot time is the time we're going, we're praying for the goyim, praying for the saints, for the one world, the shalom of the world. So therefore, we're praying for ourselves also the same thing that we should be discovered. And I think that covers what the Korbanos are and the Musafim. Have a good Shabbos, everybody. And next week, Mitzvah Shem, same time.
Shabbos.